Okay, so we're going to get started on this puppy. We're going to go ahead and drain all the coolants and get it taken apart. I took the screws out of the rad cover. No big deal there. We're going to go ahead and pull that off, set it aside, and just loosen your radiator cap or take it off so it can breathe and it'll drain out better. The drain plug on this bike, I noticed right off the bat, it's trashed. I'm going to get y'all a shot of it. I had to use a small pipe wrench to bust it loose. Look at the head of it. Pretty bad shape, but the threads look okay. We'll see when we get it out. So let me get the camera on the tripod here. We'll get started. All right, and I mean, this is kind of repetitive. I mean, I've done this step before on one of my other Banshees that I showed you guys how to adjust the clutch pressure plate slacks. So just have to bear with me because I'm gonna go ahead and try to film every step in this process here. You have a welded clutch rod or whatever the case is with this thing. We're gonna go ahead and drain this coolant. Oh my, nasty. Look at this. Looks like, oh man, it's all rusty water. That's crazy. Thought maybe it was like that orange coolant, like Dex Cool, but it doesn't smell like coolant at all. So I don't know what that is. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck this hose up high here so it doesn't drip anymore on us. We got that out. Now we're gonna go ahead and drain the tranny of whatever's in it, so we can get this plug out. This plug down here should be a 17 millimeter if you've never taken one out before. There goes the oil. There goes Chris Rise messaging me, needing help with his A-arms. Yeah, look at there. Alright. Okay, well that drains, we're going to start taking this apart. Of course, to get the clutch cover off, you have to pull your peg and your brake lever. So these bolts aren't factory. So this is actually a 17 millimeter on here. On a factory bike, there'll be a 14. So pull those off, set it out of the way. And then next we'll pull our brake lever off. There's usually a washer. Usually a washer right in front of that cotter pin. This one doesn't have it. It's missing, so we'll just take that cotter pin and get it off of there. We'll take and push that pin out. There we go. Set your pin aside. And we can go ahead and take off this E-clip. Just take a flathead, stick it in, twist, come right off. And we can go ahead and pull our lever off. Well, let's go ahead and pull our spring off, make it easier on us. Just take some pliers and grab it, twist it, it'll pop right out like that. Set all that with your parts, pull your lever off, set it aside. And if you're not planning on tearing the engine down, go ahead and try to put all this stuff on a clean, towel or a piece of cardboard or something, so you don't have to spend so much time wiping it off to put it back together. I have a feeling this engine's going to come apart, so even if not, well, I'll just clean it all back up. For the sake of the video, I'm just trying to do a little faster. Take this bolt out here for the kicker. This is actually a 13, not a common size. They're usually a 12, or there'll be, I believe, a 6 millimeter Allen head. If you have a stainless bolt, pull the kicker off, it'll come right off. If this won't come off, take a flathead and just kind of drive it in here and spread it open a little bit, and it'll come right off. So we'll set that aside. Oh, I forgot to grab my Allens for the clutch cover. Let me grab those real fast. All right. Now I got what I need. We can go ahead and pull this clutch cover off. And these, if you got these Allen screws, these stainless screws, bolts, I'm sorry, it'll be a 5 millimeter. 9 times out of 10. If you have Phillips, you'll probably probably going to need an impact driver. And when I say impact driver, I don't mean like an impacted gun like this. It's an impact screwdriver that you hit with a hammer. And when you hit it, it applies pressure to the bolt and turns it at the same time. You can get those at Harbor Freight or eBay. The Bike Master ones are really good. I like those. Okay. These are kind of, a couple of these are kind of rounded out looking the way it looks. See which ones I can get out, and I'll come back to the trouble ones later. Come right out. Make sure you're still in shot. Yeah. Okay. These are kind of rounded out a little bit, so I'm going to do is just take my dead blow and just kind of tap the bit all the way into the bolt to be sure it doesn't strip like that. So probably going to need the impact driver on this one, even though they're Allen. These are way too tight. Okay, so let me get my impact driver. I guess this is going to be a little impact driver how-to also, I suppose. I guess we're running into some problems that need to be covered anyway. So this is what an impact driver looks like, and it's a Bike Master brand. The part number on it is 15-0625. I think they're like 12-15 bucks from eBay. At a dealership, you can double that easy. The way they work is when you hit it, it applies all the pressure to whatever you have it on, and it turns at the same time so it doesn't slip. So let me go grab what I need to use this, and we'll see if we can get these out. So the bolt we're having trouble with is this one right here. I'm actually going to leave it zoomed wide so you guys can see the whole deal. If I zoom in close on it, you won't see what I'm doing. Okay, so let me go around this side where I get a good look on it. We'll see what happens. When you use it, you want to use a good heavy hammer too, because a light hammer is just not going to do the job. I'm going to have to back you up a little more for me to have room. So usually you want to push in on it just a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on it like you're going to try to loosen it, and then hit it hard. See if it came loose. Can't tell. I have to come around that side and look. Give it another couple of licks. Let me come around there, see what we have. Alright, so this Allen head bolt right here is done. It won't come out with an impact driver, it won't come out at all. So now I'm going to have to move on to a different strategy, and I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys what I do when you come across a problem like that. So I'm going to run inside, grab my Dremel, and we'll get this bolt out. Okay, we're back. Had to go inside, grab my Dremel real quick. I was using it for some polishing. Let me see if I can do this with the camera in front of me. So what I'm going to use is my Dremel 3000, and it's just got a little cutting wheel on it. A little bitty cutting wheel. It's maybe an inch in diameter. It looks bigger in the video. But so you're going to want to grind a slot in that bolt head so that you can use a flathead bit for your impact driver. And I mean, they're less prone to slip because they're not round, obviously. And that's going to be your next to last option. And the last option, if this doesn't work, we'll have to drill the head off. And I don't like doing that because you can get the clutch cover off, but then you're not left with a lot of bolt to grab to work with to get it unscrewed from the case. So that's going to be our last option. So I'm going to zoom this in kind of close so y'all can see, and I'm going to try to grind a slot in this and not damage the cover any or anything else. I'm going to see if I can. Yeah, I can get to it right there. Okay, here we go. Get this Dremel situated again. Just take your time because you got to make it count. So try to get right in the middle of it so your bit has plenty to bite when you hit on it with that impact driver. It's not the center, as close as I could get, so I'm going to see what happens. Let's just hope that this reaches in there. Yeah, it will. Right off the bat, we're just going to try to break it loose by twisting on it and see what happens. This bit bites really good in that groove, so we're going to see what will happen. I'm going to back y'all out just a little bit. That's a no-go. Okay. We're going to hit on it and see what happens. I don't know why they put bolts in this tight. These clutch covers come with Phillips head bolts from the factory. That tells you how tight they need to be. I guess from this angle, I can't see it. Okay, here we go. We got it. And see, I'm glad I didn't drill it off because it's hard to back out. We'd had a hard time doing it with pliers or anything else. There we go. These aren't, it feels like it's cross-threaded. It feels like they're not metric bolts, screws. Yeah, these are, yep, that's what it is. Look at here. Here's what belongs in it. So we can focus on that. Hang on a second, let me get you guys off of there. Here's what belongs in it. The fine thread bolt. Look what was in there. Coarse thread. Standard bolt. Oh man. Okay. Alright, we're going to continue from here. Let me get y'all back on the tripod. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this cover off now. And we're ready to run into bad luck, so we're going to see what else we find. Oh, I felt pieces fall out on my finger down here. Something's not good. Oh, looky there. Look at that. See them clutch pieces? Look at that. Y'all know what that is? That's the nut off the pancake. Now we need to see if there's any damage in the gears, in the gear teeth. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this gasket off of here. We're gonna replace all that anyway. Rip that off. And okay, we're gonna go ahead and pull our pressure plate off real fast. Pull our kicker gear out and see what we find back there. All right, guys, I had to stop for a second. My boys wanted to get their bikes out of the shop. They want to go ride, so let's continue with this teardown. see what we have. So far we can tell already. Strip drain plug, mismatched bolts, rounded bolts, beauty's only skin deep. We'll go ahead and pull this kicker off. Kicker gear, and you just take and unhook it. That's all there is to that. Take it out. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. So the teeth look fine on that. So we'll go ahead and pull this pressure plate off. That bolt's bent. See it wobbling? That bolt there is bent. That one's good and straight. That one's bent. That one's bent big time. You can see the impact wobble. Okay. These are 10mm, by the way, if you haven't been into one before. So when you have those off, you're able to pull this right off. Now, if this nut wasn't backed off, the pusher, the clutch pusher, would come right with it. The aftermarket ones, everybody calls them a pancake bearing. So we'll take that off. And we have a steel right there. Pressure plate aside, and then you can just reach back in here all the way to the back and just grab your pack and pull it right out. Take a look at everything. Everything looks fine there. And yeah, it's welded. Look at there. It will not come out. This should pull right out. There shouldn't be any resistance there. So what happens in the next minute here is going to determine whether or not we pull the cases. Hopefully it's welded good and tight enough we can go ahead and just pull it out. Here, my little one over there trying to start his bike. It's cold. Needs a kicker put on it. So we're just going to try to pull it out. Trying to see if the bolt itself is turning. No, it's not turning. Pull a choke on it! That choke works wonders, huh? You see if this, out of curiosity, if this thing will turn. It's welded tight. Okay, got an idea. We're gonna try something new here. I've never done it before. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this nut loose here. And then we're gonna try something. Let me grab my tools, guys. Okay, pull my door down a little bit, muffle some of the bike noise out. So what I'm gonna do, see if I can go ahead and bust this. See if we can bust this nut, guys. Yeah, all you dirty-minded people done heard what I said. Oh, that thing's worn out, ain't it? We're gonna bust this loose. It's a 32mm. All right, now we have that loose. This basket and hub should all pull off. I don't know if you guys know where I'm going with this or not, but I'm gonna try to use this basket and hub as an impact, as a slide hammer. Well, the basket won't move. Oh, look at, oh wow, look at this. The cushions are gone. And that basket, fixing to see me pick up a dead blow and start beating on the basket. There I go, I'm beating on it there. At this point, it's pretty much do whatever you got to do to get it off, and just try not to damage the tranny shaft. The basket's worn, the cushions are gone. It's got a lot of bad grooving in it, so there's not really anything you can do to save it. Okay, so after messing with it for a few minutes, I managed to break the one finger off of it, which no big deal. The basket's trashed. It's grooved really, really bad. It's got tons of slack in it, so the basket is no good. The hub I didn't hurt. The hub seems to be fine. I think it'll come off now. We got the whole thing wiggling some, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take this outside, or this pusher off, take the nut and that lock washer off that goes behind it, lay it aside, and yeah, there's really not any grooving or anything on on the inner hub. Okay, so this baby, yeah, it's welded tight. So I'm gonna screw that back on so I can use it sort of a, hopefully use this basket as kind of a slide hammer. It's still stuck. So I'm gonna pry really gently on it. I want a piece of something else. There we go. I saw it move a little bit there. There we go. Okay, so get the basket off. Oh wow, look at that. The primary gear, the gear's busted off the basket completely. Check that crap out. Y'all see that? And it's seized up on the transmission, so we're pretty much, look at this. We got pieces of clutch fiber back there. Everything's all bent up. So we're pretty much gonna have to split this case. So yeah, that gear is not coming off. Let me get that snap ring off of here and we'll pull that idler gear off. Okay, we'll just pull this snap ring off to get the idler off. Take that snap ring off like that. I'll just throw it in the clutch basket, in the the clutch cover, I mean. And we'll pull it off. There'll be a flat washer there and there should be a small washer behind it. Right here. Let's lay all that in there. And we can see what all we got. There's just pieces of all kinds of stuff laying in here. Looks like it's got a brand new shift adjuster bolt in it. This is pretty much, we're gonna have to pull this engine. I don't even know if I'll be able to get that off the tranny or not. Maybe with some heat I can, I don't know. I was hoping to use this basket as kind of a slide hammer. Well, managed to pull the pusher off. You can see where it was welded. So that rod ain't coming out without splitting the cases. So the next video segment on this one is going to be disconnecting the engine and getting it out of the frame. So I'm going to do this as like a video series. I'm not sure what I'll title it yet, but I guess you guys will find out. I guess while we're here, we'll pull this crap off on the bench. Alright guys, well that's it for today. I'm going to come out tomorrow and start tearing it down, getting it all disassembled, and we'll shoot video of everything, and we're going to walk you guys through getting that taken care of. Y'all have a good one. Alright, so just a little recap on this sucker before I get it uploaded, because I'm probably going to go ahead and get it edited and uploaded, and I'll just upload each video daily or however often I have time to work on it. So clutch rod's definitely welded, clutch rod's toast, clutch pusher's toast, the basket is toast. It's grooved out really bad, real bad. I broke a finger off of it. It's got tons of slack in the cushions. The gear that's the gear that's pressed in is seized up on the tranny main shaft. It's not coming off. We got metal, we got clutches, we got fibers everywhere. It's got a couple of fibers that were disintegrated. What else is broke? The 3 or 4 of the bolts on the pressure plate are bent. What else? It's probably gonna need a clutch arm, all that good stuff. It's gonna need some major love. So that's where we're at now, and guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.